Hey guys, I had a question a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked how do you create recipes, your own recipes for body butter and sugar scrub? How do you know what ingredients to use? And how do you know how much of each ingredient to use? I loved that question and I wanted to try to answer it, or at least give it a shot. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Here at Cherry Rock, I want this to be a place where we can all learn together. So if there's something we're all interested in or curious about, I say we jump in, we try to learn it together. And if that's something you're interested in, if you would like to kind of grow and learn as we go, be sure and subscribe and hit that like button. Now we have our basic body butter recipes. We're just going to go with body butter for right now. Our basic body butter recipe, you've got what I call traditional, where it's nothing but butters, oils, fragrance oil, things like that. There's no emulsifying going on, no water in it at all. And then there's also emulsified. But either way you go, whether it's traditional or emulsified, you're going to have a basic recipe for body butter. Whatever you try, take notes. This is just an example of my whipped body butter. I've got my ingredients here and how much I'm using and where they're from. And then down here there's a notes section. So anything new or different that you try, go ahead and jot it down. Write down what you did, what the results were, if it's worth trying again, if you think you should do something different. And this is part of the worksheet bundle download that I'm offering for free, and I have that linked in the description. There's, I think, 6 or 7 worksheets in it. This is one of them. But whether you use this or something else, use a notebook. Doesn't matter. Just take notes of everything that you're doing so that you know what needs tweaked and what doesn't, what works and what doesn't. So for, let's just say for a basic traditional body butter recipe, let's say we're going to use shea butter, sweet almond oil, and cornstarch or arrowroot powder to keep it from being greasy. Okay, if we use those ingredients, we will get a body butter, right? Now the variations would come in whatever fragrance you're going to put in it. What do you want to put a special oil in it? Any other additives you want to add to it? Do you want to add color to it? What you're going to do is you're going to take that basic body butter recipe and you're going to add your flavor to it. There is nobody out there like you. There is nobody that has the same song as you. Nobody that can sing that song the same way you can. The same way for these things. Put your own spin on it. What do you like? What's your goal with it? Is there something specific you're wanting to accomplish with your body butter? What's your preference? Or what's your customer's preference? You're going to have to take all of these things into account before you decide what kind of ingredients you're going to add to your body butter to make it yours. Now, let's think about a cake recipe. What do you need to make a cake? You're going to need flour, sugar, eggs, vanilla, milk. Those ingredients will give you cake. Now, if you want to do a variation, if you want to make a chocolate cake, right? Or if you want to make a banana cake, or if you want to make a lemon orange cake, it's going to be your special extra ingredient that's going to make that cake chocolate or banana, right? It's going to be the same way for your body butter or even your sugar scrubs. You're going to have your basic recipe, and then it's going to be the small special things that you add to it that's going to turn it into something special. Even if it's, let's say we're doing an emulsified body butter. You're going to have water, shea butter, mango butter, e-wax, stearic acid, and a preservative, right? That's your basic recipe. It's the little small extras that's going to make it something special. What makes the biggest difference in a cake? You got a chocolate cake and a banana cake. What makes the biggest difference? It's not your base ingredients. It's your extra ingredient. It's the cocoa powder or the banana, right? It's just one small ingredient that's going to change the whole recipe, make it into something awesome. So, what makes the biggest difference in your body butter? It's the special small ingredients. So, let's talk about actually creating your recipe, because I know that's what everybody is curious about. And you would just want to ask yourself, what do you want to accomplish with your body butter? Do you want it to be moisturizing? Then you're going to try to find ingredients that are more moisturizing. Do you want to try to maybe help some eczema or some skin issues, whatever it is? Then you're going to look for ingredients that are specific to that. Something else to keep in mind when you're creating your recipe. What ingredients do you already have? Work with what you've got. And then once you get something down that you like and you want to tweak it, then all you have to do is buy 1 or 2 special ingredients and try that in your recipes. And just keep in mind that creating your recipe involves a lot of trial and error. Alright, next question. How do you know how much of each ingredient to use and why? So how do you know what ingredients are good for moisturizing? What ingredients are good for, say, eczema? What ingredients are good for whatever? How do you know that? Well, for one thing, as far as how to know how much to use, always follow the manufacturer's or supplier's recommendations. And it should always be listed either on their website where you go to order it or on the packaging itself. It should tell you what the safe usage recommendations are. And then there's a lot of great resources online that can help out with this. So the first place we're going to look is Wholesale Supplies Plus. They have lots of items that you can buy. They're a great supplier, a great variety. They have decent prices, but they also have different calculators on their website. They have different lists on their website. There's so much information on their website. So let's go there and take a look. Wholesale Supplies Plus. Alright, so let's just look for shea butter. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so we have our shea butter, we have the price, right? Now down here, there's a lot of information down here. It tells you what it's commonly used in. It tells you a little bit about its makeup. There's a lot of information here. And then if we go over to directions and ingredients, there's a lot of information here. But what I want us to look at, so here's my point. You can go onto these websites and you can search for ingredients individually and get information that way. I mean, let's see, we'll go ahead and do another one. Let's go to Brambleberry. And let's look at shea butter on Brambleberry. Okay, so we have our shea butter, we have the amount, we have a brief description, but then we have a lot more information down here. You have your melting point. It tells you the common name, the inky name, shelf life, Tells you what it's recommended for. It's not recommended for melt and pour, but it is recommended for cold processed soap or bath bombs. It's eye safe and lip safe, and it gives you the usage instructions. That's pretty awesome. But let's pop back over to Wholesale Supplies Plus, and do you see right here it's charts and calculators? Click on that, and we're going to go to, where did it go? Fixed oils and butters properties. And this is amazing. You could actually print this off if you wanted to. You have all these different butters and oils listed right here. It tells you all about what they do if you're making soap. It tells you, look, for lotion or scrubs, you have absorption, glide, and aftertouch. It gives you the actual color of the ingredient, you know, without color in it. And just general information, points of interest. Let's look at avocado oil. Exhibits excellent penetrating qualities, making it ideal as a massage oil or carrier oil for treatment products. Moisturizing while having a low chance of clogging skin pores. All natural. Expel or pressed. There's a lot of information there. If you are looking for an ingredient that is moisturizing, but you don't want anything that's going to clog up your pores, well, avocado oil sounds like it's going to be your best bet. But that's the way you would do that. You start off with your goal, what you want to accomplish with your body butter or scrub or whatever it is you're making. Start off with your goal, and then you go research some of these items, some of these ingredients, and this is one of the best lists that I've found so far, and I highly recommend you go in and either bookmark it or print it off, because it's going to come in so handy when you go to make your recipes. So there's also Soap Queen. Soap Queen has so much information. It's so much unbelievably helpful information, and it's all for free right here. It's soapqueen.com, and I will link that in the description. You have all these different sections. So let's look at soaps and scrubs. Look at all these different articles. And you can usually find instructions on some of these recipes. You can usually find great information about ingredients, how they work, the best way to mix them together, what they go well with, how you can substitute them, because you'll find a lot of times you'll have to substitute if you don't have what you're wanting. You'll probably have to substitute, and there's ways you can do that. You can substitute one ingredient for another without any problems. But there's so much information here on Soap Queen, and they also have their own YouTube channel, Soap Queen TV, and I will link that in the description. And you've probably already heard of it, but there is just so much information there. I wanted to go ahead and mention that. It's helped me out a lot. Again, how to know how much of each ingredient to use. It's also going to be your personal preference. You want to follow the manufacturer's recommendations. You want to maybe do some research on the ingredients. And then your personal preference. The emulsified body butter that I make did not originally call for arrowroot powder, but I thought it was just a little bit too greasy. So I added some arrowroot powder to mine until I got it to where the consistency that I liked. I got it to where it wasn't very greasy, but it was all to my preference. There was nothing to go off of. It was just trial and error until I got it to where I was like, hey, that doesn't feel too bad. And you just want to make sure that you always end up with 100% when you do your ingredients. So if you, let's say you're doing a body butter that is, what we got here? Shea butter and sweet almond oil. And just don't do this. This is not a good recipe, but let's just for simplicity say that you're doing 50% shea butter and 50% sweet almond oil. But you decide that you want to add some avocado oil. Okay, well, you can't do 50% shea butter, 50% sweet almond oil, and then add some avocado oil. You have to kind of back off of one or more of your other ingredients to make room for the new ingredient. So, like, if you were going to do, let's say you were going to do 25% avocado oil. What you would do is you would go ahead and say, okay, well, my shea butter will be 50%. And my sweet almond oil, I'm going to drop that down to 25%. And then I'm going to add the avocado oil at 25%. So you still have your 100% ingredients. I hope that wasn't confusing, because I think I just confused myself. You get the picture. Whatever your new ingredients are that you're going to add to your base recipe, you're going to have to account for it. You're going to have to reduce one or more of your ingredients in your base recipe, so that your new ingredient, when you put it in there, will equal 100% for your total ingredients. And again, on Wholesale Supplies Plus, they have this awesome percentage calculator. So let's go back over there. Where did that go? Right there, percentage calculator. And you decide if you're using ounces, pounds, milliliters, or grams. There's for the name of your ingredient and how much of it you're using. So if we're doing grams, shea butter, and let's say my total batch is going to be 100 grams, or 100 grams. This would be 50 grams. And the sweet almond oil would be 50 grams, and that is going to equal 100%, 100 grams. And there it gave me my percentage. But let's say I decide I want to add the avocado oil. And that's going to be 25 grams. I'm going to back off of this and recalculate. And look, it left the shea butter at 50%, the sweet almond oil dropped down to 25%, the avocado oil dropped down to 25%. This is a very simplified version of how this works. You just go in, you type in the name of the ingredient and how much of that ingredient you're using, and you hit calculate, and it will show you your percentages. That way, whether you're doing a batch that is 100 grams or a batch that is 100 pounds, it's going to be the same percentage. In conclusion, when you're making your recipes, have fun. I mean, you get to be creative, and it's awesome. You get to decide if you're going to add fragrance to it. You get to decide what kind. You get to decide if you're going to add essential oils to it, if you want to put color in it. How are you going to color it? How much are you going to color it? Are you going to add, glitter, or are you going to add jojoba beads or vitamin E? Or, I mean, it's endless. You get to be creative and just have fun with it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If there's anything you'd like to see a video on, let me know. I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy making the stuff, I enjoy selling the stuff, and I'm really enjoying making the videos. So if there's anything you'd like to see, or any questions you have, or just any ideas, let me know. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if it helped you out in some way. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. See you later, guys.